Epic Gaming Night is sponsored by Analog Gamer. Check out Analog Gamer for high-quality board game apparel. You can find Epic Gaming Night shirts and much more at analoggamer.com. This is Epic Gaming Night, a podcast about board games and the stories and relationships they create. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, a podcast about tabletop games, but mostly board games. I'm your host Roy Candy, and with me as always is Matt.
Hello.
And Rob.
Hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
I just realized that in the overlay, I had you guys in the wrong windows. So Rob was over in Matt's and Matt's was over in Rob's, and they were perfectly in the right place, but just the wrong names.
We are one in heart and one in spirit, and we will not deny our love anymore.
You just call them whatever you want, Matt, Rob, whatever. It's cool.
Just two big, hairy, beautiful men just wanting to love you.
Just don't call them late for dinner. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we'll have already eaten 2 dinners by then. There's dinner, then there's next dinner, then there's late dinner, then there's midnight snack.
Nice.
Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
He's just trying to ignore every bit of that.
Well, that just
I know if you type in Hobbit meals into Google, it immediately pops up with breakfast 7 a.m., second breakfast 9 a.m., 11sies at 11 a.m., lunch at 1 p.m., afternoon tea at 3 p.m., dinner at 6 p.m., and supper at 9 p.m.
Dude, don't you wish you were a Hobbit? Like, it would be so...
Bro, do you think Kevin from The Office was a large Hobbit?
I've never seen The Office, so I have no idea.
Oh my goodness. It's a funny show, but there's an episode where one of the girls is pregnant, and he's like, oh, this is great. We can have all of our meals together. First breakfast, second breakfast, in between breakfast, lunch, second lunch, early dinner, real dinner, then midnight dinner. And then they have a thing called like Mega Feast.
Nice.
Mega Feast.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good Independence Day?
Woo! I tell you what, I feel free. I did have a good Independence Day. I got a lot of work done, did a lot of community stuff this weekend, but I'm always thankful for Independence Day and Memorial Day and everybody that's in the armed services that allows us this freedom. My father served for 26 years, and so it's something I take a little pride in. So yeah, I had a good one.
And fireworks.
I'm feeling American.
Nice. Not
hey,
to
man,
alienate.
the best way to celebrate independence is by blowing shit up on your own land that is made in a different country.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. 100%.
I have the independent freedom to buy that and to blow it up where I want to blow it.
We had a couple friends over, and we did. I cooked out hamburgers and hot dogs, and I made some churrikatsu, like cheese dip with chorizo in it, because
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Oh man, we did have a lot of fun. Marla and I, we were talking about how much fun we had at your house, and we want to thank you again for the invite. We really did have a good time.
But yeah, good times.
We were
sarcasm.
We weren't invited.
Rob was too busy, probably.
Still not even a text.
I thought about it. But then I was like, if they were there, I'd just be like, let's play board games, and my wife would be mad at me. Because it's hard not to want to play board games with your board game friends,
It is hard to do that.
But yeah, good times. Well, that's not our topic tonight. Our topic tonight is the cult of the new. But before we get into that, I guess we'll talk a little bit about newsy type stuff.
Da-da-da-da.
So the only thing I have on the news is the Arena for the Planeswalkers is the Magic the Gathering board game that I like a whole lot. What they came out with, which is like super cheap. They just came out with an expansion, Shadows over Innistrad, which like just appeared out of nowhere. Rob is opening mail on the podcast.
Hey, my Gen Con stuff.
I was hoping it was just going to be like, oh, look, the Long Dark's here.
That would be awesome. But yeah, Shadows over Innistrad seems cool for Magic the Gathering. It's another standalone game for the Magic the Gathering set. And one of the main complaints people had with this game, they said it's great, but they need more content. They need more characters you can put into it and more terrain tiles and more things you can do so you can army build a little bit. And so yeah, here's more stuff. So, and it's still about the same price. So what'd you get, Rob, if you want to show and tell your mail opening?
Sorry, I got my ticket for Gen Con, and then I got all of the events that I'm going to, if you can see all these different
I thought you were going to 2 events, Ashes and Ashes, or those every single one of those has Ashes on it.
I mean, you paid for some other ones.
I did. Ashes wasn't free. But, yeah, they better have Ashes on there. They do. No, I have other events and stuff that I'm going to as well. I'm actually going to a Dead of Winter mini tournament Thursday night at 9 p.m. I'm pretty excited for that.
Please don't roll the tooth the very first turn and just be out
Bro,
of the tournament.
every single person, hear me right now. If you're a fan listening to this show, when you're in that game with me, you are the traitor. You're going to die. You're getting kicked out of Robert Camp. I'm taking over. It's going to be the Newman Stronghold, and everyone is out, and we will survive, and we will have successful missions. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to pull a Roy and just start yelling at you until you come to terms.
Are they doing the long dark stuff with that?
I have no idea.
Gotcha. You can get those civilization upgrades in the long dark. You make you like a
You mean the long night?
greenhouse.
The long night.
Goodness gracious, you're right. The long night.
Come on, guys. I think we need to have him on the show again because we keep forgetting. I have a lot of stuff going on Thursday. Oh, oh man, Thursday.
You're not going to make all those things.
I'm not, because I know some of these things I'm going to skip so I can go, because I bought a couple generic passes. So I know some of these I'm going to... I got one! Awesome, I got the Dice Tower Live ticket. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in.
Nice.
Awesome.
So we'll be talking a ton about all the crazy stuff we're going to be doing at Gen Con and hopefully a few of the places that you can see us there.
Do you guys realize it's less than a month away?
I know, it's less than a month away. So
we're less than 30 days away. I'm excited.
Save your pennies, people. Save your pennies.
Yeah, in fact, I need your pennies. I need both of your pennies.
Okay, Rob. You can have all my pennies. I don't have much.
Bro, did you see that one video on YouTube? I know this is totally off topic. Guy got a speeding ticket. He contested it. They rejected him in court, so he came back and paid the whole thing in pennies.
Yeah.
It was 200
He
and
just
it was like
jumps it up on the
yes. He was like, I'm here to pay my ticket, and the funny thing is he actually overpaid by like a couple bucks, and they returned it to him. That's awesome.
biggest dick on the planet.
Yeah.
Some poor woman who has no idea what's happening. This guy just starts dumping out pennies, and she's just like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Exactly.
Sorry.
You just need one of those machines that counts it out and just dump for forever.
Like a Chuck E. Cheese machine with the tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Yeah, sorry. I'm
yeah.
totally a bad person. Please forgive me.
So I guess we'll go right into what we've been playing. I guess I'll start. I've played this game a couple times now. My wife really wanted to get this game. I showed it to her at Barnes & Noble. We picked it up and looked at it and stuff, and she looked more into it and got a hold of a copy. And that is CV, which is basically a game. It's like a tableau building dice game, sort of, where you're rolling dice to gain cards to add to like your little play area, and those cards will give you different special abilities that allow you to manipulate the dice and allow you to get more icons, so that way you can buy more cards, and you get points by having sets of cards and by having different cards. But basically you're playing through, it's like the game of life, sort of. You're playing through life. So you start as like a young adult, and you've got a bicycle, and you're like trying to get your first job and all that stuff, and you're rolling dice to try to get the different icons to be able to acquire the different things. So you could get a job at your dad's company, or you could be an intern, or you could get a scooter, like all these exciting things. But I played it with just me and my wife played the first game that I played. And then on Friday, I played with Matt and Hector. And it was, I mean, it's a pretty interesting game. It's pretty like family weight, straightforward, like just dice throwing thing. I wouldn't say that it's like super uber thematic it doesn't feel like the story is super huge, but it's like the cards you're gaining make sense for the different things, and it's kind of cute. But yeah, Matt, what did you think of the game?
It was good. I mean, it's it's not like the best game ever, but it's a good game. It's a fun little 20-minute sit around. It
definitely feels like one of those great like lightweight family Euro-ish feeling games, because it's all about the victory points in the end and who figured out a way to get the most points and stuff like that. The first game I played with my wife, she got really mad because I didn't have a job the entire game. Like, no job the entire game, and I still won. She's like, how'd you win the game without a job? Like, she went from being like an intern to a manager to like a CEO of a company and all this stuff in this game, and she was buying up all these different assets and stuff like that. But I got a ton of points for having relationships and having the knowledge cards and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Relationships, like relationships, or just like
it'll be like, hey, childhood friends is one of the cards you can get, and then the next one's like marriage, and then you can get a kids one, and then you could get a child one, or you could get like a twins one, or you could get like work friends or whatever. There's just like all sorts of relationship cards.
I will say, for what sort of little is in the box, you can actually kind of create some strangely hilarious narratives where like you go from being like a delivery, like what was Hector doing? Like, Hector had a job, and it was a really bad job, and he had it for a while, and he needed to replace it with something, and then the last job that came up was just retire, and so Hector was like, I guess I have to take this. And when you take that, you're no longer allowed to get any more jobs. So Hector was just done for the rest of the game. It was interesting at best.
Yeah, it's interesting because you roll the dice and you're trying to get different faces on it. There's a health symbol, a relationship symbol, a good luck symbol, a bad luck symbol, a money symbol, and a intelligence, like it's like a light bulb or whatever. It's kind of like your learning symbol or whatever. And you're rolling, trying to get the different symbols, and the different symbols kind of match what the card is. So if it's like a card that's running, it'll give you more healthy activities, but you got to get some health to get that card, sort of thing. Or if it's like a relationship thing, depending on the relationship. If it's like a kid, you got to pay money and like have a relationship and like all this other stuff to be able to have the kid. And then the kid's going to cost you money every single round. So it makes it kind of thematic with the different icons and things that go on with it, and make it sort of interesting. But it's all about manipulating the dice and trying to figure stuff out. It's kind of interesting because if you get 3 good luck symbols, you can just get any card. It doesn't matter what the symbols are. You can just say, hey, I'm going to spend these 3 good luck symbols, and I'm going to get this mansion, basically, sort of thing, or this expensive thing, or this whatever relationship you want. You can just grab whatever card helps you best at the time. But if you get 3 bad luck symbols, then you have to discard one of your face-up cards that you currently have in your tableau, which kind of can wreck you pretty bad. That happened to Hector 3 times in the game, so it was pretty rough. But it makes it kind of like this press your luck mechanic, because it's got Yahtzee-style rolling, so you get a couple of bad lucks, and it's like, well, I really don't want to roll the dice again, because I'm probably going to get bad luck again, and that'll just make me lose a card. So it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of ways to mitigate that too. Like, you can get life insurance, which makes bad luck not happen or whatever. So there's interesting stuff in the game. But yeah, if you're interested in a family-style game to play with your family, that's a game that's like the Game of Life theme, but actually has more substance, check out CV.
CV.
Nice. Who wants to go next with you guys' topics?
With our topics, or what have we been playing?
What you've been playing, because Matt said he wanted to talk about a specific
other thing that's not a board game.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to, instead of saying that, we played Legendary and Doodle Quest and things that we've already talked about before, I was going to plug Summer Games Done Quick, which is a speedrunning marathon for charity. So they're sponsoring Doctors Without Borders. It's a 24/7 marathon that's running this week, I believe from the 3rd through the 10th. Mm-hmm. And they just play old and new video games as fast as humanly possible, like the whole time. So if you're into that sort of thing,
how do you watch them?
It's on Twitch. So I believe it's twitch.tv/. twitch.tv/games done quick. They should be on the front page of Twitch for the entire week because they typically have between 80 to 140,000 people viewing it at any one time. So,
like us.
Yeah, you know.
So if there's someone that doesn't know like anything about speedrunning, like kind of what is that whole genre of video game
it's
play?
just, I think it originally started a long time ago with like arcade games where people want to get the highest score or the fastest time in a game. So you start just trying to improve and improve and improve, and then that kind of carried over from things like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong to Atari games. And then people were like, oh, well, how fast can I finish The Legend of Zelda, and how fast can I beat Super Mario Brothers? And so now it's like, even games like today, like last night they played the original BioShock, Dishonored, Wolfenstein: New Order.
That was such a
and
great
they all
game.
beat them like really. Dishonored?
No,
Or
the
BioShock?
original BioShock.
Oh, they beat it in
That game
37
freaked me
minutes and
out.
some change.
Shut up, that's cheating.
So are they using glitches a lot in the games? Because I know there's a whole
some
like
do, some
thing
don't.
about like in these speed runs, like finding ways to like break the game a little bit too, which is super interesting. Like I find that like super intriguing. Like, oh my gosh, if you're playing Zelda and you drop a bomb right here and the bomb like hits you, it knocks you through a wall right here, and then you can walk over a few screens and then you're at the end title screen and you beat the game. It's that sort of like interesting weird stuff. It's always very entertaining to watch.
So, I mean, it really depends on like what they're running. So most all games have different like categories for runs, whether they have like different terminology that they try to explain. Like any percent is just finish the game as fast as possible, no matter how you get there. So you can use glitches and stuff. Sometimes there are glitchless runs, or like 100% runs, or things where you have to go and do more. But they try to explain what they're doing and what the category they're running is. So it's very different for each thing. But
That's
like
awesome.
3D Zeldas are brokenly stupid and fun. But yeah, it's really cool. I don't know what's going on right now. I think Meat Boy was just on, or Super Meat Boy, and so they're doing that sort of like 2D kind of crazy platformers stuff right now. So.
Nice.
But yeah, check it out. It's good. They have shirts and stuff if you want to buy a shirt. And I think like $3 from each shirt sold goes to Doctors Without Borders. So it's all for charity. So just tune in and watch it. If you feel like giving some, give something. If not, hey, just check out and watch some games. Relax.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's good.
So what about you, Rob?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I did not play anything new this week. However, I am very excited about next week because one of my good buddies from Arkansas is coming in, and I'm going to try to bring him to Friday Night Game Night.
Nice.
And so we're going to play all the games. And as we get into topic, he will help me unwrap my games, Roy, that are still in the shrink. And we'll get into that because Matt and I were joking that this sounds like a semi-intervention for me on tonight's podcast. So we'll get into that. But I will also plug something. It's something that we did play in the past. Dragon Draft by Joe Hunt or Joe Hurt. Something. Joe.
Hunt.
By Joe Hunt. Just went live on Kickstarter. He's a local guy, and it is a trip-taking card game where you use teams and you're trying to knock out the other team. It was fun. We played a prototype over a year ago. What was that, Mace?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a year ago yet, but it's like 7-8 months ago.
Well, I mean, it was last year. I know it wasn't this year, and so anyway, it was a blast. We had a good time. No, it was a year. It was last summer, bro. Because we're already in July. That's 7 months in this year.
Mace is in November.
Oh my gosh, man! When you're like busy, like time is just like it felt longer. Anyway, so check that out, and I'm excited for this Friday because we're going to be playing Forbidden Stars, and next week I'm going to play all the games, which kind of sucks because that means I've got to learn the rules to all these games. But yeah, this weekend was a lot of work. I worked a lot this weekend doing a lot of community different stuff, helping out, taking a holiday weekend to help out other people. So
Awesome.
I'm just so happy to see you guys.
And did you want to talk about your Kickstarter excursion as well?
Okay, but real quick, if I do talk about it, I have to whisper because my wife is in the other room and she can hear me if I talk normally right now.
Don't worry, she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Sometimes she does. So I am really excited to get Massive Darkness. It probably will be, and it should be the only game that I buy this year and part of next year because of all of these stupid add-ons they keep adding on. And they're like, oh, hey, guys, 72 hours left. Guess what? We just brought up this optional buy that looks freaking amazing. Why don't you spend money on this? And it's like, suck. So,
So what I'm confused about, so all that stuff is supposed to be available after the Kickstarter. You can't wait, like, I guess it'll be like forever before that's available for like the public consumption.
Maybe
right?
not, but like the problem is like when the stuff comes out, they're offering them to us on the Kickstarter between like $27 and $32.
It's
And you know when you
more
get it,
expensive when you get it afterwards.
yeah, it's going to be more expensive when you get it afterwards. And so I'd rather just save the money and get it all up front. But the problem is they've got like almost 10 plus of these optional buys. And when you add
It's
in
ridiculous at this point.
when you add in 10 plus at the minimum of $27 a piece on top of the $120 backing, you don't buy a lot of games at Gen Con because you spend it all on Mass of Darkness. So we will see, but I'm really excited for this game. The minis look absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the
I think
minis
the
do
elephant
look
sealed the
ridiculous.
deal for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When I saw that elephant, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to let Roy play this once so then he'll want to paint that elephant for me.
See, now that's the thing that gets me is like I look at the minis and go, I don't care about this game at all, but I
Those
kind of want that
minis.
elephant.
Yeah.
Like I just want the elephant, but I'm not going to spend $27 just a little resin elephant. But that's just me.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, Matt, you can play mine.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to play it, right? Or it can sit right next to me in these boxes of other unopened games. It still has the shrink on them.
I'll just try to help Rob get some of his games played.
We'll see. I really want to play Stronghold, man. Roy, me and you need to do that one day. Like, I'll legitimately learn the rules. I need to come over one day or one night or something. We need to play that game.
That game looks awesome.
It really does.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get into our topic, which is the cult of the new Kickstarters. No. What
if I'm not on this podcast anymore, it's because my wife heard this segment, and so come looking for me.
He'll be buried it out somewhere.
It's gonna be bad.
So, what is the cult of the new? Basically, it's basically the term that board gamers have given to just people that always chase after the brand new game and the game that's like just came out. And it's like a lot of times they're like, oh, that older game, I'm not even going to play that because, I mean, there's all these other new games. Check out these awesome like new things that just came out and like playing brand new games. And they're always chasing after the next new hot game and not going back necessarily and playing the older games because they're all washed up, you know, because they're like old. So yeah, do you chase after hot new games?
No.
I know. I feel like I would probably fall into this a lot more if I like wasn't just broke. Like I got the mortgage and the kids and stuff, and my wife keeps me reined in pretty hardcore, and like I'm pretty frugal myself. Like I don't like go just buy things on a whim all the time. Like I always have to be very calculated.
Who does
about
that?
like what I'm spending my money on. So I want a game to go through the ringer, but like if someone has the hot new game, I'll be like, let's play it, let's do it. But we don't always necessarily have that luxury.
I'm a fan of the cult of the new.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm on that bandwagon. Absolutely.
We just need you to bring them all over.
I have so many, man. Like even my wife came in my room the other day. Like we were in here, like because we have some friends coming over next week, and they're bringing their daughter, and so we have a mattress, and she's going to be sleeping in my game room, and so we're moving stuff around, and we're moving boxes around, and my wife's like, "Hey, babe, look at that game's still in wrap. Is that a good game?" I was like, "Yeah, I think that one just came in," and she's like, "Oh, did you just get all of those games? What are you talking about? Oh, that game and that game and that game's still in wrap. Oh, and that game's Robert, how much money did you spend, babe? You know where's she gonna sleep? Let's just concentrate right now on our friend. Where's she gonna sleep?"
That's
Just
awesome.
had to like move.
You're like, sometimes like they just need to be pristine in the wrapper just for a little while.
Yeah,
just a little while.
And then I have like 2 Amazon boxes in here where I've only opened up the Amazon boxes so my daughter can play with the bubble stuff because she likes popping it.
And the board games are in shrink inside the box?
Yeah, the games I just pulled out, they're still in shrink inside the box.
That's awesome.
Not all of them are new, so I like older games too, but I'm definitely a fan of Cult of the New.
Yeah. Do you think there's any problems like with only playing brand new games?
No, not at all. I can get into it, but I'll let you guys go first.
I mean, I think it's fine to play new games, but I think there's so many amazing games that have like come out in the past and like in the history of gaming that like there's a lot of awesome stuff. And I mean, a lot of new games expound on like those same ideas and things like that and just twist it and make it better. But I think there's tons of games that are probably sitting on your shelf that are still worthy to be played. Like
zing, just that little zing right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Like I'm sure like a lot of our listeners have amazing games on their shelf. Like dust it off, man. Like put it back on the table. Show some of your friends. Because I mean, what a game that's like years old and like old school to you might be brand new to your friends and stuff that haven't played it. That's one of my favorite things is like showing my friends older games that they haven't played before or like something that they haven't seen. I don't think there's a problem with playing new games constantly. It's just a problem when it comes to like your wallet sometimes.
What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to answer that question because it's like, is there a problem with reading new books versus old books,
right?
Or watching new movies versus old movies,
or new components versus old components?
Well, that's different.
New rule books, but it's not. It's really not different, and that's my argument.
No, I would say
and
components
I think Roy
are
hit
different.
the nail on the head. There are newer games that take older games' rules and ideas, and they expound it on them. They make them better. Like the 1987 version of Blood Rage, I'm not interested in playing, but the 2015 version, I'm interested in playing. And so, like, I get what you're saying, and would I own the 1987? Sure.
At this point, Blood Rage is Cult of the Old.
I know,
we've got
last
newer
year's.
games now. That's last year. That's ancient.
But so like Matt, being the new guy, being the newest guy, would you rather play something that you need to wear white gloves to read the rule book, or would you rather play something where it's hot, fresh, and new, and it looks amazing?
Doesn't matter really, because it's like, is it fun? Checkbox. Yes, let's play it. No. It's. If you have a hesitation about whether or not the game is fun, I'm really not interested. So,
do you think a lot of times the people that are chasing after the brand new thing is a lot of it just to be able to say like, I got the new thing, I got the brand new game?
I think it's entirely hype based. So I think like we saw this with Blood Rage. Like you guys came back from Gen Con, we're like, oh, Blood Rage, and I was like, dude, yes, I don't know what this is. I want to play it. I don't even know what it looks like. I was just like all about it. So if Rob were to be like, hey man, so Blood Rage's Kickstarter is still going on, I probably would have went over, looked at it, and went, yeah, cool, and then bought it. But it's only because it's like a temporary hype thing. So it's like hot new games are only hot new games for like a week or two, and then they go away, and then you're just left with a game. It might be good, but it also might be okay, and you bought it because it was hot for a little bit.
That's why
I see what you're saying. I see that. I will say that for me, part of it is like, the glitter and the Shazam of the hot new thing. But
I got the brand new stuff.
But like if I were to do on a point scale, that would be the smallest percentage for me, because I really don't care having the brand newest stuff. I just like having the component. I'm a plastic person, and I'm an art person. And the new stuff coming out now, they can't afford for it to just have a great rule book and great mechanics. There are too many good games that are coming out nowadays that look amazing, that play amazingly, that do amazing stuff. And so to me, it's
$40.
okay. But how much? Let's just say Blood Rage to me. Let's just say it's $100, which you can buy for less than $100. But let's say you buy Blood Rage for $100. all the time that I've had playing with my friends, playing with you guys who are also my good friends, all the time that I've spent on Blood Rage, I've thought about Blood Rage, I've watched videos, we talked about minis and everything like that. Everything encapsulated with me in Blood Rage, that $100 is so well worth it.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to spend a lot more than $100 going, you know, on a date night to go see a mediocre movie, or you're going to spend more than $100 going, you know, on a fine meal. But I can constantly bring back Blood Rage. And what's great about Blood Rage compared to a movie is it can have a different outcome every time. The movie, the guy still dies. You know, the girl still gets cancer. Something happens, you know, and so I think it's worth it. But I just like, I am so into the Cult of the New right now because, well, because everything coming out is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not just buying every new game. I'm not just buying every new game, but I'm buying a lot of new games that fit my genre. I like plastic pieces. I like certain companies, and I like certain rules. There's a lot of good games coming out by these companies with these pieces that have good, simple rules. Hey, see that? Take it. You can't take it? We'll get a big army and then take it. It's like, okay. I mean, I love this stuff, and there's so many good games that are coming out that serve its purpose that it seems like I'm on the Cult of the New train. But if we were to really do a study and find out how many new games came out a year, I'm not even a passenger. I'm not even the bus boy or the bag boy compared to some people. But I personally, if I had friends come over who have never played board games before, and I wanted to introduce them to a board game, I would not pull out an old board game. I'd pull out a nice, shiny new one that looks great, that they could appreciate the art and the stuff that comes with it.
Nice streamlined rules, so it's easy for them to get into.
Easy for them to get into. The graphic art is amazing and funny and beautiful, or dark and sincere. I mean, it's all over the place. I'd rather bring that out than, listen, man, once we start playing, you're going to have a good time. I'd rather not have to make an excuse off the bat. I'd rather them see the box and be like, wow, okay, let's try that.
Gotcha. For me, I always like to, like, I don't know. I don't have like a whole lot of capital to put into like the brand new stuff, so I always have to like make sure like it's gone through the ringer. Like I want it to like look great and look awesome, but I also want there to be like a solid game like behind it, and I want like reviewers to say it looks great. I want like a lot of like, I just want it to be, I guess, amazing. I don't know.
Sure.
I want to see that people are still talking about it down the road. And for me, I feel like I'm on like the second wave of game. Like the game's brand new, it's hot, everybody's talking about it, and everybody's talking about it, and everybody's still talking about it, and they're still talking about it. I'm like, okay, I need to get it now. So, but this is like after it's not like the newest, hottest thing, and I'm playing the game on like the second wave almost. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Did you get Matt? His power went out at his house.
Really?
Yeah, he just texted saying power failure.
I wonder if it's with his computer or with his actual like house.
House. While we are working on that, do you want to pause for a second, or because I can respond to what you just said?
Yeah, you can go ahead and respond. It's fine.
Okay, so I think one of the things that helps us now that, let's say, even 3 or 4 years ago, we really didn't have, even though we did, but it was limited. I think one of the things that helps us now is a lot of these big board game reviewers. For example, let's just use the Dice Tower. They're the biggest one. They get the game couple weeks out, if not a month out, before the game is actually released.
Some people get them way out.
Way
like,
before then.
Holy smokes.
And so, you know, you're able, or at least I'm able, to do enough research before the game goes out. Because I've bought games from their opinion in the past, not from them, because they're not retailers, but I've taken their advice on a couple games in the past, and I was like, wow, these games really were good. And so I know if Sam Healy likes his house went out. If Sam Healy says that he likes a game, I pretty much know I'm probably going to love that game, because a lot of games he likes, I like. And so I say that to say I get their review well in hand before the game comes out, and then I'm able to pre-order the game or buy the game right when it comes out. So I don't feel like I'm going into a lot of these games blind, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel like I'm just making a quick decision here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I do have some idea of what I'm getting myself into.
definitely. I feel like I'm the same way too. So like I try to watch and make sure, like I know the reviewers that like I like. I talked about this a lot on my I did a how to board games video where I was talking about board game reviewers or whatever.
Yeah.
And like what different reviewers are out there and different opinions, and getting a board game reviewer that you know likes the same style of stuff as you. So you're like, that's my guy. If he likes it, I need to check it out. Or if like you're watching a board game review and they don't normally like the same stuff as you and they love it, then you're like, they love that game, I probably am not gonna like it. So it's interesting to look at different reviewers and different things and pay attention to what different people say about it. So it's like, if you like super heavy thematic games with tons of like randomness and events and like Ameritrash clashing against each other, and you listen to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, you're gonna feel right at home. So so you might be able to be like, oh, Roy likes these games and I like these games, maybe we're gonna fit a little bit with that stuff. So and that just builds the more you know that like reviewer or that person. So but yeah. So I guess we'll just continue the podcast. Sorry, Matt, we miss you.
Matt, even though he'll never listen to this.
It's fine.
We can say whatever we want. Matt, I think you are a handsome individual, and I would like to just touch your face.
Nice.
Is that weird?
So, we all know we have like some unplayed games around. Do you think you have a lot of unplayed games?
Not a lot compared to what I have played. So
that's awesome. So what percentage would you say?
Nope.
I'm pretty mad that like I have a few games, and I mean mostly they're like stuff that got sent in, but like I really want to play it. Like I have the Slaughter Ball game. Like I really want to try to play that. I mean, I'm not a super huge sports guy, but like the minis look awesome, and I really want to try to play that. And just a few like other random like small stuff. I've played almost all of my games, but there's so many of them that I just want to replay, you know? Like, I really need to get Battle of the Five Armies to the table again, and I really want to play War of the Ring again. I really want to play... I was just looking at Eclipse the other day. We played Twilight Imperium a little while back, but I'm like, I think it's time to play Eclipse again, just because I actually like both Twilight Imperium and Eclipse a lot. So even though Eclipse is more Euro-y with the building up of your culture and stuff like that, it's like, man, I want to get that back to the table.
This is not good.
Rob's doing the math on how many games he has behind him. He's currently looking at his game shelf behind him.
Okay, it's not terrible.
In distress.
It's not terrible, but out of all the games that I own, there's 22 I haven't played. Like, haven't even played at all.
Gotcha.
I own them. I've opened them based off of friends' advice or based off of reviews and stuff, or just because they were a really great deal. But yeah.
So what do you think the biggest factor of like not being able to get the things to the table is? Do you think it's just time?
Yeah, I mean, you and I are both family guys.
Yeah.
We both have full-time jobs. In a lot of my time also, not that it's any different, but being a realtor, a lot of people want to go see houses when they're off of work. And that's when a lot of people play games, is when they get off of work. So, like, I don't even get to make all the Friday night sessions.
Right.
So my main thing is time. I bought them because I'm interested in them. I bought them because I want to play them. I don't just buy games just to buy them. You know, I'm not that guy who's just looking for a shelf full of games. But yeah, it's just time.
That's what I was telling my wife the other day. I was like, every single game that I have, like, I want to play. Like, I'm not a guy that's going to collect games. I don't collect anything. I have a ton of board games, but I don't collect board games. I don't keep them just for specific reasons. Like, I want to play those games. Like, I would like to actually play every single one of them. And if I don't want to play it, I probably should get rid of it.
There is only one group of game that I am collecting, and that number of 22 would rise if I were to include all these games. But that's the Risk series.
Yeah.
That's just like a nostalgia thing where I want to collect.
I feel like that's admirable and like fine, you know, to be like.
I don't think I'll be able to collect them all though, because there are some that are so expensive and very out of date. But I mean, I've got a good collection, and as I see a new cool IP, I'll try to pick them up. But Like there's a black box version of Risk for like $500+. I'm not spending $500 on a Risk game.
Is it just straight up Risk or?
Yeah, and it's got wooden meeples. It's nothing great.
Oh,
Even
it's not
back-
like painted like minis.
No,
or
I mean it's got a
anything?
special board. It's got a special board and great quality board and cards and stuff like that. But the components are just wooden meeples. In fact, Rob Davio helped create it when he was back with Hasbro and stuff like that. It was a special edition that they made to like raise money. They only made 1,000 of them,
Oh, nice.
and there's still like 100 of them that haven't been opened or anything, and they're going for like $500 a piece. And
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna spend money on that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna spend $500,
I could get one Massive Darkness for that.
exactly one whole Mass of Darkness. But
It's so
I guarantee you, it'll look way better. I mean, if you're gonna spend $500, you might as well spend it on the game with amazing miniatures.
Actually, I think I can get one in like maybe a half of just the core set Massive Darkness for that.
Nice. Ah.
So bad, Roy. Help me.
This is an intervention, Rob. That's why we're here. Matt bailed. He didn't want to be part of it. He like made up some story about the power. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. No, I'm just kidding.
Never.
So yeah, what unplayed game do you want to get to the table the most?
Stronghold.
Yeah.
Stronghold second edition, and then I really want to get to the table Fief France 1429 or at 1492. I don't know if you have any desire. There are a couple other guys in another gaming group here locally
Yeah.
that want to play it. I love the idea of Fief because to me it resembles medieval Total War, the board game.
Yeah.
Because you
But so-
have to have diplomats and you have to have treaties and all this other stuff. So, but Stronghold is my number one unplayed game I want to play. Like it's starting to really make me mad I haven't played it yet.
Awesome.
How about you?
I already said mine. I really want to play that football game, but I mean,
Well, what game?
I really want to play Abyss too, because I got Abyss for like super clearance. Have you played Abyss before?
Yeah,
I mean,
wasn't
it
a
looks
big
really
fan of
cool. I just
the
want to play it
art
to
is
say that I've played
gorgeous.
it. I got it for like $10, and I'm like, this game is too pretty to leave sitting on the shelf for $10. And I'm like, I'll
absolutely.
pick it up. And I haven't played it yet, so I haven't played it, so I don't know if I need to keep it or try to pass it on to someone else. But
It's not that I'm 100% anti-Euro. The problem is 9 out of 10 times when I've played a Euro game, it's with people that have played that Euro game multiple times before.
and they can
they
just crush in it.
Well, and they know the combos,
Gotcha.
right? Because that's what a Euro game is. If you can figure out the combo to make you the most money, to get you the best, blah, 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 you win the game. And so when I played Abyss, I played with like 4 people, and 3 of them, Trevor was one of them, Trevor and Garrett. And
Trevor's good at that too.
couple
Like
other guys.
knowing, like, this is the strategy, this is what you do,
Yeah.
this is how you win.
And he bought it at Gen Con the year that it came out. He played it a couple times, and we were over there having a game night. And a couple guys were like, "Sure, let's play Abyss." And he's like, "Okay." Well, he had already played several times, and just boom, boom, boom. I was like, "Okay, so I've got 27 points. How much do you have?" "Oh, I have 109." It's like, "Yeah, man. Thanks for letting me come play this game."
Throw the
That's the
pearls
only-
all over the place.
Oh, bro.
Good luck finding those.
I will say it is a really pretty game.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just that's why I like Ameritrash, because I think veteran players have a better chance, sure, but it's not as uneven.
yeah.
I don't think.
And there's a
That's-
lot of ways that people can gang up on the leader
Yeah,
super
they
easy.
can come back. Yeah,
They can all pass a law to publicly execute you, and then you just can't come back, and they tap all of your planets, and you just get real salty for like an hour and a half. I'm just kidding. I'm not venting here at all. I don't know. what
No,
you're
not
talking
at
about.
all.
No, not at all. Awesome. So next, are there some older games that you would think that people should give a chance to look at, like a game that's been out for a long time that people should actually like go back and
Okay,
like,
but
take
what
a
do you
chance?
consider to be a long time?
I mean, it doesn't have to be like super old, but just not cult of the new, like a game that's
Sure.
a couple years old or something that they should go back and be like, that game is amazing.
I've got several of those. I know you probably have a bunch. Why don't you go first?
I mean, one game that's older than like me, and I know you guys probably hear about it all the time. I love Cosmic Encounter. It's just like this old game that's all about negotiation and super like different powers, variable player powers. Everybody has a different power, and trying to figure out how to do alliances and negotiate and figure out how you can be on the winning team, and like you can do backstabbing and all sorts of crazy stuff. Play cards to interrupt other cards. There's all sorts of awesome stuff in Cosmic Encounter, and this game is older than I am. Fantasy Flight gave it a facelift, and it looks all like a newer game. And I mean, it's not as crazy as stuff. Like, it's a little bit older now. Even the updated version isn't as crazy like graphic design as like some of the newer games, but it's still a solid game. And that game is crazy that it's still as good as it is when it's older than I am. Your turn, Rob.
I'm definitely not going that old, and it's also a game that we play a lot because it's also a great game. I'll say Twilight Imperium 3. Phenomenal game. It's been out for a while. It has had a couple facelifts where it's now the 3rd edition, but it is something that if you're into any type of game, whether it's Ameritrash or Euro or something, I mean, the game has something for everybody. The only downside is it takes forever to play. But absolutely love that game. And then, I mean, I've got a couple of others, but they're not that old.
I hear a lot of people say that they're holding out on Twilight Imperium 3, hoping that a new edition is going to come out, and they're like, well, I don't want to buy it, and then the new edition come like right afterwards. What would you say to those people? Is it worth jumping in and like getting it to the table, or do you think they should hold on to a hope that somehow there's going to be... I mean, people have been saying that a new edition is going to come out for quite a while now.
Well, and Christian Peterson's also said that. I think eventually
there will be one, but we have no clue how soon.
Or either a redone edition with like maybe upgraded minis where each faction has like its own...
Could you imagine if they said, okay, we're going to do Twilight Imperium like deluxe, and I mean they tweaked a few rules but kept it like a decent amount the same, but they're like, and X-Wing quality miniatures. I would be like, dear Lord, all my money.
Can we be honest? No, you would be texting me, hey Rob, have you seen this game? You may want to buy this game. Rob, have you seen this? Come on.
Here's the thing: is like it's not really Cult of the New if I've already played it and I know that I love it. It's like going to be worth the investment for me because it's my favorite game.
I understand.
I'm going to be like, hey, Chris's birthday, all together, Twilight Imperium, painted minis. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It would just be cool to have like different faction ships for every single faction that like look like those, like the plant ships for like the Arborak, and like just different ships for every single one.
They could totally do it now. I mean, they could.
But yeah, and they've got a lot more experience with like making components and graphic design and all that stuff. That's the interesting thing, is like when you come out with a game and you have a graphic design, and then you come out with expansions, like you come out with expansion a year later and then another expansion a year later, you still have to use the old graphic design that you came out with a few years ago. And the graphic design is still amazing for Twilight Imperium. I mean, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just like there's so much more experience now because, I mean, Twilight Imperium came out before I started the board gaming hobby. Well, started deep in the board gaming hobby.
Yeah, it was like almost 10 years now.
Yeah, it's like early. And I mean,
2000s.
if you're talking about Twilight Imperium itself, came out way long a time ago because that's the game that started the company. But 3rd edition came out probably like 9 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I would have to fact check that. But yeah, there's a ton of awesome stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, and also, like, let's go back to that Cult of the New, and here's what's bringing this up. That game right behind your shoulder, you've got Zaya, right? Okay, so you've got Zaya on your board. Companies like Far Off Games and other small companies. When we had Zaya guy. I'm terrible.
Cody.
When we had Cody, so sorry, Cody. When we had Cody on the show, or even Emerson does a fantastic job, but Emerson is Nazca Games. Cody is Far Off Games. These small companies are typically 1 to 2 people. I mean, even Josh at Gray Fox Games, their main full-time staff is only 3 people. And they're Gray Fox Games. They put out a decent amount of games. I say that to say, these new companies, small and big, they can't afford not to put out a good game. They can't, or they won't be in business long. Yeah. And so it's hard not to get characterized as Cult of the New when all these amazing games are coming out. You know, like I don't know if you would have bought Zaya had it not gotten, some of the bang and the value that he offered, because he offered the metal coins and he offered the constructed ships. And I mean, he did a fantastic job. But he can't afford not to do that anymore. Does that make it bad that everybody jumped on board and kickstarted him? No, it's just my point to the new games is they have to be good now. So, a lot of times if you buy a game,
and I feel
it can be pretty good.
Like all the resources out there, like just the internet itself has made everything more accessible. Like it makes it easier for people to network and communicate with each other to figure out how to make a good game, and like the graphic design on everything, and like with all these miniature sculptors and things like that. It's like so much easier for people to make amazing looking games than are not just some scratch paper that somebody made.
You can't do that anymore, or nobody will buy your stuff.
Right.
I mean, you hear people say that all the time. Like we're getting ready to go to Gen Con, and they have this whole section of Gen Con for like independent studios. And Tom Vassell, I've heard him say it over and over again, how he's amazed every year by the one or two companies that come back. He's not amazed about the number of companies that go into that independent hall. He's just amazed that one or two were able to succeed, because a lot of these other companies, they fail. They can't produce the product that's good enough for nowadays market. Yeah. And so, I mean, if your game makes it, it's because it's a good game. And here's what I say by make it. If it makes it to the table. Because a lot of games, a lot of these companies fail even before they get to people's tables. I mean, anyway.
But yeah, there's a ton of awesome games and stuff that people can come out with. So I'm super excited to see a lot of the new stuff that's coming out of Gen Con. It doesn't help like seeing all the brand new stuff going from table to table, and like you can demo it there. And that's the thing for me, is like I want to know that a game is good. Well, after I sit down and demo the game and I'm like, holy crap, that was amazing. That's like, oh man, I think I'm part of the cult of the new now, because I played it and it's good. I mean, I don't have to wait for a reviewer to tell me it's good. I have firsthand experience.
That's what we did with Gen Con. I mean, we heard the hype a little bit and we were excited. We played the demo and we were like,
that's like this right now. Forbidden Stars. A lot of people said it was good before I played it, and then me and you sat down and played it, and I'm like, I need to own this game. I need to play it more, but I know the game is amazing. And like we played the demo of Blood Rage at Gen Con last year, and it's like, holy smokes, this is not a joke. People talk about this stuff, but it's true because I saw it with my own eyes. So I like to demo games a lot and play games a lot of times even before I buy them. But like,
and if you're in a position where you can do that, I think that's super smart.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a smart consumer. A lot of people, more people should do that.
I guess that's one of the downsides of having like a more private like gaming group, because if we had like a meetup or like one of those big meetups where there's a whole variety of people that are like hardcore board gamers, like in our group, it's me and you. Like we have board games. That's it. And we mostly play my games, and occasionally like you'll be like, oh, let's bring over this one game or play this one thing or whatever. But it's mostly my stuff. If you're in a meetup public group, everybody's bringing games, and they're bringing different games, and it's always new stuff, and you have a more chance to play the new games without actually even having to purchase them. So it's more of like a community thing, because there's always people looking to play their new game with you. So that's fun. But that's one thing that I do miss about having a little bit more closed of a group. But the good thing is I can put my kids in bed and help watch them while I'm...
Well, and also when like our local meetups, a lot of the local meetups that meet up in our area, they meet during the week. And
it's hard to pull off.
Well, yeah, especially when you do have the little kids and you got to, put them to sleep, and then you got to get up super early for work and stuff like that. That's why I think Friday works better for us. And I know it works better for you and your family, especially since you guys host it.
Yep.
So, I mean, you do what you got to do. It's a sacrifice to play board games, but man, we're willing to do it.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, is there anything we wanted to talk about or anything? I had a super short list of topics here today. Make sure to leave, if you're watching this video on YouTube, comment and let us know if you're in the cult of the new and what the new hot game that you're going to purchase next is.
Massive Darkness.
Well, you'll probably get Spyfall before that, right? And you're about to have...
You mean Seafall?
Seafall before that. And you're about to have Dead of Winter come in the mail. And then aren't you going to get the new Ashes guys? What about? I'm just going to keep naming games that you're definitely buying.
Well, I've already paid for.
Exactly.
I mean, let me whisper again. I've already paid for all those. So yes, they'll be coming in.
Nice.
I think thing that we can talk about real quick because we are getting close to it. Gen Con. Listen, if you guys are at Gen Con, please come say hi to us. I mean, not that my ego or Roy's ego needs to be stroked anymore, but we really do appreciate our fans. We really do care about you guys, and we love the fact that you put up with us enough to listen to us week after week. And so if you see us at Gen Con, please come take an awkward picture with me or get a high five or a group picture of us if we're together. We'll give you cards. We'll give you buttons.
Should have buttons. We should actually have we haven't had to come in yet, but we should have dice with the Epic Gaming Night logo.
Yeah,
on
we
there.
ordered those dice and stuff like that.
You have to do this super secret handshake to get one of those. So
yes.
But yeah, make sure to hit us up. I know I'm going to be helping out at the Gray Fox booth a lot. I know I talked about this a little bit.
Yep.
But I'm going to be there like Thursday morning. I'll be at the Gray Fox booth, and then all day Saturday. So if you want to make sure to like see me, come over to the Gray Fox booth, and we'll freaking play London Dread, or we'll play Deception Murder Hong Kong. I can demo the game for you and show you like how awesome those games are. So. And
they are so much fun. I'm excited to demo London Dread.
I really want to play that.
That'll be a game that I'll buy. That'll be a game that I'll buy.
It's another one on the Cult of the New list. Sorry, we're not helping you guys out.
But yeah, come say hi to us. Come talk to us or whatever, or reach out to us on any of our social media stuff. We appreciate you guys very much so.
Matt will be shocked if anybody comes up and says hi to him, because he doesn't think this is real. He does not think
this is real. Like, I don't know if he still believes this about Emerson, even though Emerson said the story himself. Because it was crazy like that. But anyway.
Awesome. Well, check us out on our live streams on YouTube. We do this at youtube.com/C/Epic Gaming Night. We're getting super close to being able to draw for our contest. I think we're almost at 650 for our subscribers.
Oh my gosh.
There. So we're like 50 guys away. So make sure to get on there.
Want to get 3 great games.
Yeah. And you don't want to miss out on any of our content, because we're cool guys, right? I
think we're a lot of fun.
I mean, we're fine.
I mean, I know you guys get jealous of me because I'm so handsome, but still, we still have a good time.
It's
a curse. It's a curse.
But also check out our t-shirts at our sponsor, Analog Gamer, analoggamer.com/Epic Gaming Night. We have a 4X t-shirt over there. We have our Epic Gaming Night with our logo on there. It looks all cool. Make sure to check those out. Also hit us up on our Instagram and Twitter. We're answering questions over there. That's at Epic Gaming Night. Hit us up on Facebook, and just all the different places.
All the different stuff.
So I guess we will see you guys next time. It has been a blast.
It has been a blast. Bro, I got to talk to your dad this week.
Epic Gaming Night is...
Oh, we're still on the show. I do that every time. But I really do have to talk to your dad this week. I got to send them a bunch of stuff, all my beta readers.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear like the feedback.
I can. You can't. You can't.
AJ said that he read the prologue thing or whatever.
Yeah.
He said he was trying to give you some like insight, like, oh, I hope this happens, that happens. You're like, you just have to wait and find out. And he's like, I'm trying to help, man. I'm trying to show that I can give some sort of feedback.
Oh, well, when I send them the chapters and stuff, there'll be a whole questionnaire that they have to fill out.
Nice.
So.
Did you send any of that? Have you sent any of it out at all? No.
I'm doing that later this week. I'm going to send out the first 4 or 5 chapters. Well,
Jeremiah in chat said we were saying something about if you want to see our faces. Jeremiah said, "Screw you guys! I don't want to see your faces in person."
Hey, it is weird. Hey, Jeremiah, I understand what you're saying, because the main action guys, when I saw their pictures on Facebook, like, still, I'm having trouble with a couple of them, because I'm like, you do not look at all like you sound. Like, your face does not match your voice. It's so weird. So I get it.
It's always really weird. Like, I try like purposely for like the podcast, and like especially like when I'm about to go to a convention where I know these people are at. Like, I literally like seek. It's weird. I know it's weird, but I like seek out their pictures so that I know what they look like, so I can be like, I won't have that immediate shock. Because sometimes you'll hear someone's voice and be like, I know that voice, but they don't look like that in my head.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I should probably do like a like I kind of did that one year with Mace, have like a bunch of pictures of all these different people, and be like, hey, these are these people you should look out for. This is.
Did you really do that?
At Mace, I sent you like guys some texts or something like that, but it wasn't very many people.
Yeah.
But I should totally do that for Gen Con. So, because
Hey, are we going
last
to
year,
MooseCon?
I really want to.
It's like the week before Gen Con or something like that.
I know. I need to
like 2 weeks.
get it done. There's another convention coming up like next week that is in High Point. It's called.
Well, I know Stephen Avery's going to be at MooseCon.
Yeah, I need to
because he's got a lot of stuff. We may need to talk to him. He's got some stuff coming out with Cool Mini or not.
Yeah, the
He's
ta-da
been,
and the.
Yeah.
I guess he's changed it to Dart Gun Desperados instead of.
It's probably
Marvel
whatever they
Banditos.
changed it to. I
Yeah.
mean, once he sold over his rights, it's like, okay,
Sold
yes,
is
man.
sold. That's how it goes.
But we need to have him back on the show. You want something to talk about? Just bring on Stephen Avery. And I say that in the best way possible. He's a lot of fun. He's a crazy cat.
That's awesome. What was I gonna say?
We need to get Brian on the show to talk about nothing but coffee.
Last year when we were walking around the convention hall, Bruno Faduti or whatever, one of the big designers who's done a bunch of games, Rob's like just walks up to him and says, hey man, where's the bathroom? And like then he's like, oh, it's over there, and Rob walks off. I'm like, you realize that was like a board game designer, right? He's like, who was it? It's like, if you don't know, there's just board game designers and publishers like everywhere. Like if you don't know what they look like, how are you gonna know who you're talking to? Like,
Well, listen, I may have a booth next year at Gen Con as a sci-fi fantasy author. So probably not.
I'm about to say, you should just talk someone else into letting you borrow a corner of their table at their booth. It'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
We've got some pull. I mean, come on. We're like these hardcore podcasters now. You can probably be like, hey,
Right.
man, Josh, Gray Fox Games, come on. Like, show this book off too, man.
Boom.
It's fine.
If I accidentally dropped a box of books here, let you keep a percentage of them. Boom.
Sell these for me. Just tell them, if we tell them that Rob Newman's books are here, like they're just going to be flocking to this booth. You know you want that extra publicity for your games while they're standing around reading the book.
Okay, but here's what I would do. I would totally run to that booth with like wearing like a hood or something. I'm like, man, you got Rob Newman's book here? That's awesome. I want to buy 5 right now. Can he sign them? Is he here? And I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody, you guys see Rob Newman's books here? This is great. Just to get the stupid hype. I would go in every day wearing a different hoodie. I heard you got Rob Newman's book here. Oh my goodness, is he's here? I hear that guy's great.
Jeremiah,
I would do something stupid like that.
Jeremiah says that people look taller in person.
Bro, but I'm tall for real life. And I'm big.
Yeah.
I
think all three of us are pretty tall overall. Not as tall
but
as
even
Alex
Stephen Avery.
Eating.
Stephen Avery. I'm as tall as Alex.
It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. But I remember when I met Steven, he was like, bro, you're tall. Because I was taller than him. And I was like, yeah, man. There's a lot of hug right here, man. I'm about to hug you up.
That's awesome.
Some deep suck. Are we in the after show or are we still...
We're still on the stream. We're
so is this gonna make
No, it's not. It's gonna make the YouTube video. It's not gonna make the audio podcast.
Okay. So. I mean, you could put it on there. I don't care. We didn't say anything bad.
Like sometimes people are like, oh, let me talk some trash, and some people are like, no, stop the stream.
Yes.
So much fun.
Good times.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks everybody who's watching this. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and it has been a ton of fun. You guys are awesome, and we miss you, Matt.
Matt, would you, bro? I hope you get your power back. Which I'm not surprised if he really did lose his power, because there are a lot of thunderstorms coming through our area tonight, and so his area may have gotten hit pretty hard.
No good. Peace.